Good morning. This is yours truly, Arthur Denchfield III, also known as Arturos Rex and Rex Arturos in Miami. And I'm here with my total gym machine and with the miraculous medal around my neck. The big one that was found on October 8th at around Eye Care, where I had the operation on the 4th of September for my left eye. They eventually came around to finding it after over a month on the 8th of August, 8th of October, feast day of Saint Birgitta of Sweden. Today is October 27th, Monday, and it's the day after the feast day of Christ the King, which is October 26th. And Christ is the King. He's the King of the universe. And we have behind us here, we have the holy face of Jesus from the Holy Shroud of Turin. That's at the moment of his resurrection, photographic proof of his resurrection on the Holy Shroud of Turin. It came out as a negative flash at the resurrection. And then only later, much later in the 20th century, when the negative was developed with photography, did we appreciate much greater, much more fully the terrible passion and suffering that he endured. And of course we have a picture of Our Lady of Guadalupe over there too. She appeared miraculously in Mexico in 1531, December 12th, 1531. And of the 46 stars, 46 stars were discovered on her mantle inside of different constellations. And the constellation Bootes is on the right side of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Bootes is the herdsman, and the alpha star there is Arcturus, Alpha Bootes, 36 and a half light years away from Earth. And would you know it, I was born 3642. So a few years ago, I took the name Arcturus from my own and added REX, Rex, in front of it, Rex Arcturus or Arcturus Rex, in my job description. What is my job description? Well, I'm 83, I'm retired, I'm a U.S. veteran, I served honorably in the United States Marine Corps for 6 years, and I'm a founding member of the American Society for the Defense of Tradition Family Property way back in 1972, along with 4 other gentlemen from Manhattan, and that later became the American Society for the Defense of Tradition Family Property, expanded all over the United States, and I went to Europe on a sabbatical in 1980, came back in 1982, December, after my mother suffered a stroke, and I decided to spend more time with her, and I did, and until she passed on in the year 2002. At any rate, here I am with my total gym machine, and I've told you before about the Holy Family bonus plan. The Holy Family in 0 AD, there's a movie about that, 0 AD, 0 AD, when Jesus was less than 1 year old, had to flee from Herod, and so Saint Joseph was asked by the angel, commanded by the angel to take the Holy Family to Egypt as soon as possible. And so the night that he got the dream, that's the night they left on a donkey. And so what is the Holy Family bonus? The Holy Family bonus is our very small, humble attempt to help feed the Holy Family in the past with the energy that which we generate now in the present. With God, this is possible. God is almighty. He can teleport our energy. This is the energy of millions and millions of gym users of machines in homes, and people who use bicycles and do aerobics, like I do water aerobics in the morning at the swimming pool locally here. We offer this energy to God, and he teleports it into the past and converts it into food and makes it appear to St. Joseph as she's out there in the middle of nowhere in the desert, he has to figure out how to feed the baby Jesus and Our Lady and himself and the donkey. And that's what we're saying. We say that you can contribute to the feeding of the Holy Family and the Holy Family bonus when you offer up your extra energy to God as a Holy Family bonus after you've fulfilled your basic requirements for different kinds of exercises. And I've gone over that time and time again. I just thought I'd remind you again that this is a very noble way to use your energy. And of course, the miraculous medal of Our Lady having been found again after I thought I'd lost it, or it had been teleported to a Honda driver somewhere in the world, because I couldn't find it after the operation, made a whole video about it called Teleportation 2. That was the second teleportation, or so I thought, until it was discovered on the 8th of October, a feast day of Saint Bridget of Sweden, by Aderon Eye Care. It had been lost there, and it had not been teleported, as I mistakenly thought. And so I made the correction accordingly. At any rate, we ask God to have mercy on us and to inspire us to draw ever closer to Him, especially in view of the fact that there's a phenomenon going on in the skies, and that's 3iATLAS. 3iATLAS is now behind the sun, but there's a comet 100 times bigger than 3iATLAS called SWAN. That's just acronym for a longer name. SWAN B2. It's 100 times larger than 3iATLAS, and it's not acting exactly like a comet either. And so we're wondering what's going to happen. And so what we are recommending is a faith summit, a 3iATLAS faith summit, in which experts in Christianity and Islam and so on get together, and they have a frank talk about the true religion in the world. Judaism is not the true religion. No, it's not. And Islam is not the true religion either. And I don't know about you, but after thinking about it for a long time, I began to wonder. First, democracy killed Christ. What? Yes, democracy. Pontius Pilate activated democracy when he enabled the Jewish people to democratically choose between the release of Barabbas or Christ, the innocent Christ or the guilty Barabbas. And the Jewish people, with the help of the Pharisees behind them, deep state Pharisees, shouted, Barabbas, Barabbas, release Barabbas. And so that was democracy in action. Pontius Pilate went along with it. And then he asked the people, what shall we do with Christ your King? And the Pharisees, again, manipulating the media, so to speak, manipulating the crowd there, they said, crucify him, crucify him. And Pontius Pilate couldn't believe it. Crucify Jesus Christ, your King? He's innocent. Crucify him. And they shouted, crucify him, over his objections. And so he washed his hands in disgust, and then he allowed the proceedings to go on. And so therefore, it was democracy that condemned and democracy that executed through crucifixion the Son of God, God the Son. And I was wondering, since Jesus is the second person of the Most Holy Trinity, in his divinity, he exists forever. He's eternally begotten by his Heavenly Father from all eternity as the eternal Word. He's the co-creator of the entire universe. And all the living creatures in all the galaxies that God has created, they must all know that their creator, their co-creator, Christ, was democratically killed in this planet called planet Earth. Imagine that. If I were a chief or a warlord in another galaxy, And I had my chance to avenge totally the deicide, to avenge Christ's death against those earthlings. How could they be so ungrateful as to condemn and crucify through a democratic process the creator of the universe? No, I would do something. I would attack the earth as an act of vengeance for such an indignity, such an injustice on the part of a people 2,000 years ago. But I'm not an intergalactic warrior. I'm just an earthling here, but I'm working for God the Father. Just in case you're wondering, well, who's your boss? My boss is God the Father. I thought the Pope was no. The Pope is a vicar of Christ. He works for God the Son. He answers to Jesus Christ, and our Lord Jesus Christ. He's your brother. He's my brother. He's my older brother. And you should know that when Saint Remigius, the Apostle of France, he preached the Passion to Saint Remigius. I mean, to not Saint Remigius, to Clovis, King Clovis of France. The Knights of King Clovis. This is long, many centuries ago. They banged their spears on the ground. They were so upset with the Passion of the Christ, the fact that people allowed him to be crucified after such a terrible passion, and they banged their spears on the ground, and they say, we wish that we had been there. We would have prevented this from happening. That's what the knights under King Clovis declared. There were 3,000 of them who all became Christian. And so, you know, you have to wonder if knights in the name of chivalry and for the love of God can have that kind of a reaction, how about living entities in other galaxies who owe their existence to the Son of God, the co-creator of the universe? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Anyway, I was thinking that the Israel of the Bible is not the Israel of the UN, 1947, 48. No. That's a different kind of Israel. That is not that's not the Israel that people should think about in the Bible. No, not at all. The new Israel are the people who obeyed God, you know, who saw the Messiah and accepted the Messiah no matter what, and are part of the Christian community. This is the new Israel. And it occurred to me that the Judaism is anti-Christian, very anti-Christian. And if you ponder about it, Islam is very anti-Christian. Judaism is very anti-Christian. Now, it just so happens that in Spain, when the Muslims overran Spain, many times the gates to the cities that they conquered were opened up by Christian-hating Jews in those cities. They saw in Islam liberation. That's right. In other words, and I was thinking, isn't it possible that Islam is the military arm of anti-Christian Judaism? Isn't it? Oh no, that can't be, because Islam has killed millions of Jews. Well, I mean, come on. That's true. That's unfortunate that happened. But when you think about it, they have so much in common. They both look down on pork, and they have dietary laws. They have this kind of law and that kind of law that seem to dovetail in many respects. And so I wonder sometimes, how is it that the billionaires, the Catholic billionaires in the world, I'm tempted to mention names, but I'm not going to mention names, you know, they have programs that help Islam and Judaism. I mean, part of their billion-dollar fortunes, billion-euro fortunes, go to help Jewish causes and Islamic causes, and they consider themselves Catholic. How is that possible? I think that what's her name? There's a lady in Sweden. She founded Paideia in Sweden some decades ago, and her name is escaping me right now. But she said that people were going to come to the realization that the Jews has a lot to do with the de-Christianization of Europe. And her name is escapes me now, and anyway, I wish you a good day. God bless you, and God bless America.